So Sandra said, my name is Simon Davis. I'm one of the directors from Printing.com PLC. Printing.com PLC is a London Stock Exchange listed business. We're based in Manchester in the UK. I'm here today to talk to you about W3P. W3P is a third generation web-to-print system for commercial printers. It's a system to feed work straight from the web directly onto a commercial printer's printing presses. Now, we're told by our existing integrators that it does some really cool stuff. Let me give you a flavour for what I mean, a headline, if you like, for this presentation. Templates online in 10 minutes, direct from Adobe InDesign. Our integrators tell us that this is a game-changing advancement. It helps them really leverage the web-to-print offering to their end-user clients, helping them feed work onto their printing presses from the online dashboards and systems that they put in place for their clients. Now let's go back to this third generation thing. What do we mean by that? Well, I guess before we start talking about third generation, we probably need to understand what first generation and second generation is. And these are Printing.com terms. These are terms that I talk about with my colleagues. But our understanding of the way web-to-print has progressed over the last maybe 10 years is that first generation web-to-print systems was all about editing in boxes. What I mean by that is that what the end-user client would see on their screen is, say, a business card template, for example, and then at the side there will be text boxes. If they want to change their details, their name, their contact details, their telephone number, their address, on first generation systems you would type into a box at the side and then press update. And that would then preview how the card or the flyer or the leaflet would look. So what about second generation templates? Well, for clients that wanted to do something that was a little bit more sophisticated than a simple business card, maybe they want to edit a brochure, a 6-page DL brochure, as we would refer to that in the UK. This is the type of work we feel that commercial printers would like to be feeding into their printing presses from the internet, from the systems, the online systems they've set up for their corporate clients. I actually picked this up from Holiday Inn Hotel where we're staying this morning, but it's a good example. It has a map, it has body text that is specific to the city centre Dusseldorf Holiday Inn Hotel. But if the marketing manager of this particular hotel wanted to personalise this branded Holiday Inn brochure to the Dusseldorf with maybe specific body text, the map, the images, it would probably find it irritating as the end client, the marketing manager, if they were having to type into boxes at the side and then wait for it to update. Marketing managers, business people in general these days, are used to using keynotes or PowerPoint for presentations where you can simply just type straight on to the presentation slide. Why shouldn't you be able to do that for web-to-print systems? So second generation web-to-print was all about letting the client type directly onto the editable template. There are lots of businesses here in the Innovation Centre and next door in the Cube that are offering both first generation and second generation template systems. So first to second was about letting the client go from editing in boxes to editing on the side. So what about third generation? What is the step from generation 2 to generation 3 of web to print? Well, we believe it's not to do with the client. It's actually to do with the commercial printer. Because if you speak to commercial printers that have integrated web to print systems into their businesses over the years, they will say that it has its challenges. I've heard people say within the commercial print sector that web to print is a good idea, but difficult to make it work. So why was that? We believe it's down to 3 fundamental reasons. Number 1 is the skill set required to set up template systems. Number 2 is the training required of the people who are going to set up these systems. And the third one is actually making the template for the client just on an operational day-by-day basis. So let's just have a look at these 3 challenges, if you like, for the conventional first and second generation systems that are out there at the moment. There's some techie stuff here which I always find difficult to kind of get off my tongue. So I think it's true to say, we at printing.com think it's true to say, that for conventional first and second generation web to print systems, a very technical skill set is required. Maybe involving colours being specified with hexadecimal values, along with script conventions and the like to control typographical requirements. In fact, often the software being used is a proprietary software application that the people that are going to be making the templates in the business are not used to using. Because the software being used is not a day-to-day piece of software that is used within the business, they need to go maybe on a residential training course. The residential training course in this proprietary software application that makes the template maybe runs for 2 or 3 days. And when that person comes back from the training, because the training was extensive, it was 2 to 3 days, there's normally only one person within the business, within the commercial print company, that gets sent onto the training. It's normally the pre-press manager, because they're quite technically minded. So what does that mean when the accounts manager within the commercial print company just wants to get on with putting up a new template for a chain of hotels or hairdressers or franchises or whatever it might be? Well, the account manager who manages the relationship needs to talk with his day-to-day graphic designer or somebody within the design team of the commercial print company. They understand where all the artwork is, the images, the branding. But it's the pre-press manager who has been trained how to make certain items editable. So what I'm trying to get at here is that there's 3 people required in this process just to get a new template up onto the system. The result of that, of having 3 people involved, is that it takes time. It can take up to 2 hours to make just one template. So the skill set needs to be is a technical skill set. You can tell it's my first time. Okay, so printing.com think there's a better way of doing this. Printing.com believe that we should be working with the skill sets that design people within a commercial print company are using on a day-to-day basis. InDesign. This is the preferred industry package for laying out brochures, business cards, flyers, leaflets, and the like that commercial print companies deal with on a day-to-day basis.
Because the printing.com system, W3P, makes the template in InDesign, which designers are used to using, then the burden of training is measured in hours and not days. And because the burden of training is mentioned in hours, not days, then the people that are trained to make the templates are the design people within the company, the design team. And what that means is that we are able to remove a whole person from the process. And the pre-press manager can get on doing with what he does best in pre-press, and the accounts manager can get new templates for his customer up onto the system as quickly as possible. The result of this, and we can demo this on our stand just around the corner, is that we can take templates in InDesign files and we can show you in 10 minutes how we can have them uploaded onto our portals. We believe this is a game-changing advancement in technology. Okay. This prospectus, which my colleagues here can now hand to you, explains everything that I have just said in a little bit more detail. It talks in detail about the difference between first and second generation, about the difference between second and third generation, and puts a little bit more substance to the presentation. But we are now demonstrating just around the corner. Our stand is stand F13 in this hall, just on the corridor between ourselves and Hall 7, the Drupa Cube. Please come and talk to us, and we'd like to tell you a little bit more. Thank you for watching.